Greetings, Fortniters. This is JikkySef. We're going to use Indiana Jones in this match. We're going to head over to Fortnite Wiki right now and see what they have to say about him. World-famous archaeologist adventurer. And he has a pretty cool hat. There's the Nana hammock loading screen. You can see the big rig up in the sky. Indiana Jones is an epic outfit in Fortnite Battle Royale that can be unlocked by completing 4 Indiana Jones quests from the Chapter 3 Season 3 Battle Pass. Indiana Jones is part of the Indiana Jones set. They should have called it the Raiders of the Lost Ark set, but I guess that was just the first movie. He comes in 2 selectable styles, Indiana Jones and Temple Explorer. And look, we found another Indiana Jones. News tab. Dropped on July 6th. That was last Wednesday. This one doesn't belong in a museum. It belongs in your locker. Complete the Battle Pass quests to unlock world-famous archaeologist adventurer Indiana Jones now. On July 8th, which was Friday, they dropped this one. Prepare to meet Indiana Jones on the island. So that looks like he's going to be an NPC. Can't wait to see that. And on July 9th, which was yesterday, they dropped this one. Don't worry, there aren't any snakes. Solve the puzzle in the shuffled shrines to find some treasure. Still haven't done that one. I have to figure that one out. I believe you start at the south end of the shrine, and you get your first clue off a rock for the puzzle. More on that later. Stash an item of mythic or exotic rarity in a tent. You could grab an E11 blaster to complete that. It's pretty easy. That's why I'm headed to this stormtrooper site here. And there's no Imperial Guard guarding it. I find it interesting that both crossovers this season, Indiana Jones and Star Wars, were both George Lucas films. Of course, the Indiana Jones were also a collab between George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. Harrison Ford stars in both franchises. I find that additionally interesting. I'm going to grab this grappler glove. This thing comes in handy. I use this at the very end of the match to secure my victory royale. I had another video lined up for today. I had a crown victory royale on Friday using Indiana Jones, but I spent most of the match trying to solve the puzzle at the shrine. Only had like 3 eliminations. I played this one yesterday, that's why I'm sharing it with you today. And there was one other piece of news they dropped on July 6th. That was last Wednesday. Indiana Jones is here. Time to get some fortune and glory. Complete quests to unlock Indiana Jones, alternative styles, and more. I like the more part. Here's some trivia on our good old boy here. Indiana Jones ID is CIDA as in apple, 423 Athena Commando M Canary. Dr. Henry Walton Indiana Jones is an archaeology college professor who teaches students about ancient artifacts, sometimes going into dangerous ancient temples to recover some. It's called stealing, by the way. Indiana Jones uses the likeness of actor Harrison Ford, who portrayed the character from the 1981 film Onward. Indiana Jones is tied with Neymar Jr., with the most amount of mystery rewards, with the 11 in total. Glad that mystery is solved. Indiana Jones is the first bonus outfit to be epic. Indiana Jones' Temple Explorer style resembles his appearance in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's the second movie in the franchise. I think I'll pick some cranberries while I'm here. Speaking of combos, when are they coming back in the game? Alright, the Indiana Jones set. Comes with the Indiana Jones outfit, of course. Indy's dust-off emote. Haven't unlocked that yet. The emergency raft glider. Oh, and check this out. This is one of the quests. You gotta make that big rock roll. Almost rolled into me. I like rock and roll. There we go. We're gonna crush some stuff down there at the sanctuary. Looks like we took out a tree. I'm gonna use this grappler glove to move on. I'd like to visit the shrine in this match if I can. If there's time. Alright, as I was saying, the Indiana Jones set comes with the Indiana Jones outfit, the Indy's dust-off emote, the emergency raft glider, the expedition bag back bling, Raiders Relics harvesting tool, Indy's escape spray, and the Rogue Archaeology wrap. It's kind of a cool wrap, actually. Goes with the hat and jacket. Reminds me, I used to steal my dad's jacket. He had a really cool motorcycle jacket. It was leather. Alright, here's one of the stones. Leave no stone unturned. And here comes Llama Boy. And there he goes. Headshot. See if I could find some of those other stones that indicate the puzzle pieces. I believe they come in 3 colors. White, which looks like blue sometimes. Yellow and orange. Let me know in the comments below if that's white or blue. Maybe I have to adjust the color on my screen. Now we're going to head over to Wikipedia and learn about the real Indiana Jones from the movies. Indiana Jones is an American media franchise based on the adventures of Dr. Henry Walton Indiana Jones Jr., a fictional professor of archaeology, that began in 1981 with the film Raiders of the Lost Ark. I saw that in the theater. It was awesome. In 1984, a prequel, The Temple of Doom, was released. Now look at it, I think I found the secret chamber. I'm just kidding. I think there's another stone in this room now. You have to go down a bunch of stairs. Hope there's no scarabs. Am I twisting movies here? I think he had the snakes and the spiders. The scarabs was in the mummy. Let's see if I could find that other stone. Or maybe this is the wrong room. I found a vault. That's hidden treasure. In 1989, the third movie, The Last Crusade, and the fourth film followed in 2008, titled The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The fifth film is in production and is scheduled to be released in 2023. The series was created by George Lucas and stars Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. I thought that Steven Spielberg worked on that with him. He's also responsible for the E.T. movie and a bunch of other really cool sci-fi movies. He had a sci-fi television show. Can't remember what that was called. Was it Fallen Skies? That was a great show. Had aliens trying to take over Earth. They cut up Los Angeles into different zones with giant walls. Alright, we're just looking for other stones here. You could run around this temple the entire game and still never find everything. Here comes a battle bus. We're gonna have to deal with that. Alright, we're gonna have to crouch. I'm shooting into the door. I'll build a wall there. I'll build a happy little wall there. I sound like Bob Ross. Let's put a happy little ramp there. Yeah, that'd be great. We'll build that out of brick. Alright, we sprayed that dude with bullets from our SMG. That's elimination number 2. It was a pretty sweaty opponent. However, once in a while I can out-sweat him. I've been getting pretty sweaty myself, as indicated by the very last video I posted yesterday. I pretty much built over log jam. What are they calling that now? I can never remember. Ever since the reality tree spawned up there. Oops, you should have built the rest of that wall, buddy. You really was a dummy. I pretty funny this morning for having just woken up. What do you guys think? This grappler glove is awesome. Chase is on. Let's see if I can catch up with that dude. Here we are at the gas station. There's an NPC in there, as indicated by the talk bubble. I'm gonna rest up here for a second. I didn't realize this, but there was also an Indiana Jones television series. I never saw it. The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles from 1992 to 1993. We're going to dig into that in a little bit. There was a whole bunch of other stuff in addition to the films. There were novels, comic books, merchandise, of course, role-playing games, and video games. They released some soundtracks as well. And they have toys, theme park attractions. I know that Disneyland has one. I rode it many times. Here's a fun fact. My old boss, David Lewis, helped design it. And my other old boss, Steve North, he was the body cast for the Indiana Jones characters you see on the ride. I saw the pictures to prove it. That's a really awesome thing. My old boss, David Lewis, designed some other rides, like Star Tours. He was starting to work on California Screamin', which they retitled the Incredicoaster when they redesigned the park into Pixar. Anyways, those are stories for another day. There's also an Indiana Jones pinball machine called the Pinball Adventure that was released in 1993. I don't think I ever saw that. I used to play pinball a lot. My favorites were the Twilight Zone and Independence Day and the Addams Family. That was an awesome pinball. I also played the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pinball game. That was pretty sweet. Just gathering up some cranberries here. Sorry, I'm going off the rails here as far as the narration goes. Just saying whatever pops into my head. Alright, here's what I wanted to read about. In 1992, the franchise expanded to a television series with the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, portraying the character in his childhood and youth, and including adventures with his father. Marvel Comics began publishing the further adventures of Indiana Jones in 1983, and Dark Horse Comics gained the comic book rights to the character in 1991. Novelizations of the films have been published, as well as many novels with original adventures, including a series of German novels by Wolfgang Holbein, 12 novels set before the films published by Bantam Books, and a series set during the character's childhood inspired by the television show. Numerous Indiana Jones video games have been released since 1982, including Indiana Jones' inclusion in Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 3. I came up with that one. Here we are at Reality Roots. I'm going to put some roots down here and win the game. Pun intended. I'm just kidding, the game ends at Greasy Groves. That was a pretty cool location that they blew up last season. Alright, background of the Indiana Jones movies. During 1973, George Lucas wrote The Adventures of Indiana Smith. Oh, let's see what's in this chest. I think I'll pass on the sniper rifle. My sniping's been off lately. You guys know that, you watch my videos. Like Star Wars, it was an opportunity to create a modern version of the movie serials of the 1930s and 1940s. Now let's see if we can finish this challenge here. Let it roll. Oh, wait a minute, I already finished that challenge earlier in the match. My bad. By the way, behind this wall here is a great place to hide. I saw that in a Llama Sir video. We're not going to hide though. We're rushing into combat. You know why? Because we're Indiana Jones in this match. Fearless adventurer. Let's take this dude out. That was some sweet shooting there. My shooting in this match ain't that bad. It's hit or miss with me. Some matches are good, some are bad. Stay tuned for the very last elimination. It's going to be a good one. And also stay tuned to after the match. Courtesy of Nate Hill, I got the first FNCS drop of Chapter 3, Season 3. It's the Peace emoticon. Alright, back to the background on Indiana Jones here. Where was I? Lucas discussed the concept with Philip Kaufman, who worked with him for several weeks and decided upon the Ark of the Covenant as the MacGuffin. That's right out of the Bible. You don't want to mess with the Ark of the Covenant. That's straight from God himself. He's got a whole bunch of rules on how that thing's supposed to be moved and who could visit it. Not for common people. I digress. The project was stalled when Clint Eastwood hired Kaufman to write the outlaw Josie Wales. Let's take this dude out real quick. Oops. That was not good. I fell off the roof. Sometimes mantling doesn't always work out. We're still going to take this dude out though. You just wait and see. Staying shielded. Got some XP off that. Alright, there they are. This will be easy. Booyah! Surprise. I got him. You know what I've never said in my video, and I'm going to say right now? Baba Booey. My son was playing a Roblox game the other night. It kept on saying Baba Booey. That's from the Howard Stern show, by the way. Alright, the project was stalled when Clint Eastwood hired Kaufman to write the outlaw Josie Wales. In May 1977, Lucas was in Maui, trying to escape the worldwide success of Star Wars. His friend and colleague, Steven Spielberg, was also there on vacation from work on Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's right, he also did that movie. Spielberg told Lucas he was interested in making a James Bond film, but Lucas told him of an idea better than James Bond, outlining the plot of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Spielberg loved it, calling it a James Bond film without the hardware, and had the character's surname changed to Jones. Sounds kind of like Jonesy, huh? Spielberg and Lucas made a deal with Paramount Pictures for 5 Indiana Jones films. We're still waiting on the 5th. Spielberg and Lucas aimed to make Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom much darker because of their personal moods following their respective breakups and divorces. Lucas made the film a prequel as he did not want the Nazis to be the villains again. He had ideas regarding the Monkey King and a haunted castle, but eventually created the Sankara stones that would be used in the film. He hired William Hucht and Gloria Katz to write the script as he knew of their interest in Indian culture. The major scenes that were dropped from the Raiders of the Lost Ark were included in this film: an escape using a giant rolling gong as a shield, a fallout of a plane in a raft, and a minecart chase. For the 3rd film, Spielberg revisited the Monkey King and Haunted Castle concepts before Lucas suggested the Holy Grail. Spielberg had previously rejected this as too ethereal, but then devised a father-son story and decided that the Grail that everybody seeks could be a metaphor for a son seeking reconciliation with a father and a father seeking reconciliation with a son. Now we're going to take some shots at that battle bus. Good thing I have the E11 blaster. It has infinite amount of bullets. We're going to try and blow that thing up on them. Of course, I've given up my position here. I have no idea where the 3rd player is. I'm sure we'll find him eventually. I was going for that loot drop a second there, and then Mr. Battlebus took it. Alright, we're playing it safe on top of this gas station here. I don't want to get picked off this far into the game. And it looks like there's only one player left. Close shave. Yeah, Indiana Jones, I think it's time for you to shave. Alright, we're going to mark the crown, and we're going to use the grappler glove and see if we can get it. Or at the very least, we'll just take out our final opponent here. Here we go. Victory Royale for Indiana Jones. Looks like he had the crown. That's alright, we already got a crown Victory Royale using Indiana Jones. I might show that to you this week. Unless if I get one with Darth Vader first. I still have to figure out the puzzle at the shrine, and here it is. The Peaceful Emoticon. Thank you, Nate Hill, for the drop. Don't forget to watch FNCS today, either on Twitch or in-game. And my name is JikkySef, JikkySef. Boom. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a great Fortnite.